Welcome to SIssues. We are two sisters with issues and a need to work them out, and we're inviting you along for the ride.
Here we are taking the big things we have in common. Our love for Outlander, inappropriate humor, and why people do the things they do. Mix this up with our dirty lady mo's, and this podcast is born.
But don't worry, we'll explore other issues too.
Because you know,
when you have sisters, you have issues.
If you are easily offended or don't appreciate the creative use of colorful Canadian cursive language, this is not the podcast for you.
Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?
Move on over.
Hello?
Move
Are you there?
Oh! Move on over. I'm just saying.
Hello, Cher.
Hi, Philly.
Was that the intro in?
That I was singing.
You were, that's what that was. That was singing.
You, my sister, are a bitch.
Yep. Welcome back to SIssues, everyone. I'm Phil, and this is Cher. We're back to season 3, and today we are watching episode 3, All Debts Paid.
All debits paid.
This is my favorite season, and it's just because 20 years and 1 season. That's why.
It just, things fly by.
Yeah.
You know what? And it's funny, we were talking about favorite seasons, and I'm one of those really weird people that every year, every season that finishes, I'm like, oh my God, that was my favorite season yet. And it's just because I love it. And I'm not one of those ones that like picks seasons apart and we have people that do that and they do it brilliantly, and I love it. And they take all the nuances and they talk about the book was like this and the series is like this, and and I don't do that personally when I'm watching, because I feel that it wrecks it for me, because I have to watch it and love everything about it. Like, I have to watch the series as the series and read the books as the books. They have to be two totally different entities for me in order for me to enjoy it, because I have one of those super analytical minds that if I was to start picking it apart, I would not stop picking it apart. And I would shred it like it was going through a shredder, and I would die with
you
it.
You have to see them differently. Diana sees them differently. So for us to say it should be 100% like the book, no. They love the story, and so they're building on the story.
But I know people that need to tear shit apart in order to enjoy it. I don't understand them.
Yeah,
but they're out there. And that's okay too. Totally okay too. But I cannot have discussions with them, and I cannot, I have to stay in my happy bubbly bubble. And that bubble smells like cotton candy, and it has a unicorn horn on it.
Yes, it does.
And that's how I do my shit. That's how I get through this. We have great friends on Outlander BTS who, with Courtney and Antoinette and Kathy and Carmen, they do these great reviews of every episode, and they talk about the good things, the bad things, the things that they hated and things that they loved. And I love watching those. I get a real kick out. I don't agree with a lot of things they say that they knock down, but I still
you don't have to agree with it. Exactly.
I still love what they have to say about it, because I can understand why they don't like it, and I can understand why they think it should have been done a different way, or why certain directors they think are poo, and stuff like that. I totally get it. I love it. But this is how, I have to process it, because my brain works in a way that if I start looking at it with any kind of analytical picking apart, that it just doesn't stop. So I have to look at it with the good things. So it keeps on looking at it with the good things.
Yeah.
It's just the way I work. It's just the way my brain works. You'll hear me say more things on our podcast than you will ever hear me be negative on the Outlanders pages. In my blogs, I am never negative. Like, I always stay with that bubble of happy, 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 because that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
So it's more of a automatic nuance when it comes to talking about it like we do on our podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. And I think everybody will look at it a little differently. You know, there's not always the extreme right 50, extreme right. You know, there's also the people that fluctuate in between. Alrighty, so let's get this episode underway. Skip through your recap, go directly to your song, and Cher will count us down.
And like she said, there's the right, and then there's the left, and then there's the in-between. And that's where most of life is lived. So we're going to hit that one, and you're going to hit play. So 3, 2, 1. And we're singing more songs. What song are you going to sing? I'm going to sing, it's the best spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. There's the TV. What's going on the TV? Oh, look who's that. There we get a little glimpse of Roger and Brianna sitting in a tree. Kissing. Oh, somebody's played. That was Murtaugh's plate. Just saying.
Are you sure?
Who's taking off the clothes? I know whose clothes are coming up.
I know, right?
They're not Claire's. No. And that was Jamie, and he is naked, and he's taking off somebody's clothes.
Oh, and is there going to be another war? What's going on?
Everybody's falling down. Oh, my God.
There's drilling.
Oh, jeez. I was like, I have a little drink.
Lay off the booze, sister. Lay off the booze.
Gonna have a little drink.
All righty.
Here we roll. What was this one called?
This one was called All Debts Paid.
Oh, there it is.
Puppy.
It's the Newfoundlander. It's a Newfoundlander puppy dog.
Little bit of tribute to Canada. Oh, cake. My favorite. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Phil, what? I thought cock was your favorite.
Cake. C-A-K-E. Cake.
Pronounce it wrong.
And so now we're back to Boston.
B-O-O-boo-boo.
This is, of course, after their little tete-a-tete where she couldn't open her eyes while having sex. And so that now they've settled into a different kind of routine.
Mm-hmm. And they're older now, a little bit more going on in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meaning he's making it because she always burns it or cooks it in the stove or cooks it in the fireplace.
Pretty much. And she's distracted as well. You know, she's going through medical school now. So.
Yep.
But they seem more close now than they were before, you know? Yep. Or they're just cordial and friendly. And it looks like, you know, I love that she addresses him this way because this is the first time ever that she's since they moved back, interested in him.
Well, and the first time that they've shown us. I mean, I think they've probably been on this path of, you know, oh yeah, this is going on, you know.
Yeah.
She's like, you go to the movies with.
Yeah, exactly.
She's right.
Without saying it, that's Frank's way though. He doesn't come out and say it, right? Mm-hmm. You know, so that he doesn't hurt feelings.
Yeah. Since we're not begging, we're free to, you know, go bang other people, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's
exactly.
Like, oh, yeah, great.
And there's Brianna, such a cutie pie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I love the green and white checkered teapot. It's very 60s.
Mm-hmm. Teapot.
And here we go. I love that they keep going back and forth. And this is one of my reasons for loving this season. So now the first time we're having a look at Adsmuir Prison, where they took Jamie after, of course, Jenny turned him in.
Ardsmuir.
Yeah.
Ardsmuir Prison. And there's barrels. There's always barrels and crates.
Yeah. Well, that's how they stored things back then.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, I noticed it in Disneyland and stuff too. Like, there's always like barrels and crates just everywhere, you know. I know that's where their electronic equipment.
There were no there were no shopping bags and things like that. So everything was transported. And
look at him! You're getting our first look at
the grown-up
Lord John Grey.
Yeah. We've seen him once younger, way younger,
but this is the grown-up.
He's a big boy now.
And he got into a little bit of trouble, so this is not a step up in his career.
Yeah.
It's a little step down, getting his pee-pee slapped, and now he has to run Ardsmuir Prison.
But that's the thing. He did work his way up through the military ladder, per se, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure having the name helped get him there, but he did his dues like everybody else.
Yep, but this was a pee-pee slap for him. This isn't what he wanted to be doing.
No, of course not.
This was a little bit of a punishment for him. So,
and I love the fact that he knows already. Mm-hmm. He's met him already. He knows. Yep. Mm-hmm. Jamie doesn't quite know yet.
Nope.
But he'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember when he got arrested or when he got held prisoner, his brother already told him, do you remember? So it's still not fresh, but it's been a few years, but he'll remember.
Uh-huh. Damn, he's a good looking man.
He's very handsome.
Jesus.
And I didn't know he was from Australia.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he was an Englishman.
No, Australian. Yeah, he does a really good English accent.
Yeah, very
His
much so.
His Scottish accent sucks balls.
Sorry about that, but it does.
Oh my God. Well, I think he's the first one to admit it sucks. He gets to the point that he doesn't want to do it.
Nope.
Doesn't he want to do it? It's quite funny. Man, it's just... Imagine living in this kind of squalor.
And that's like normal for them, right?
Yeah. And he was again the laird in here for these men. Like he walked by one of the men and the man handed over a drink to him.
Yeah. Well, because he was a leader outside and in, right?
So, and I heard that voice, and
me too. I was so excited. I was like,
"Oh my God, there's Murtaugh!"
And I was even more excited that Murtaugh kept a piece of his plate, and
that was completely illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a big part of the book about somebody keeping their tartan with them in the book, and Jamie taking a flogging for it. And, Lord John having to be the one that called for the flogging, and it just tore him apart. Because by that point he was already in love with Jamie. Yeah,
exactly. I remember that.
Yeah. And Jamie did it on purpose because he wanted to hurt Lord John at that point. So, but as everybody most people know, Murtaugh is supposed to be dead at this point. He was supposed to die on Culloden Moor. In the books he did. But having him in the show for this extra portion was an absolute delight for me, because I did not like him dying in the books at all. It was something that I was heartbroken because I loved his character.
And that little piece of plate that you'll see it again later on in the series when him and Jocasta get together. He actually has it under his family pin.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he kept it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he is the head of the regulators.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, fighting for what he believes in again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and here's Jamie trying to wield his witchcraft on Murtaugh, because Murtaugh's just like, oh, your grass again.
It'll stop you from getting the squavy and having your teeth fall out, my buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you've been in there as long as they have, that's really important.
Yeah. Well, and this is stuff that Claire taught him. So
yeah,
just the same as, you know, Claire listening when Frank was talking about the stuff that he was interested in. Jamie listened to Claire when she was telling him things.
I think with Claire, though, you really didn't have a choice. You had to listen.
She was telling you.
Yes, exactly.
It wasn't just conversation.
When she was giving
like,
you
you've got to
advice.
eat this green stuff because your teeth are going to fall square out of your damn head.
Yeah, exactly. And when it's told to you like that, it's pretty hard to forget.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Oh, here we are.
And I think he remembers him at this point. I really think he remembers him at this point. So
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Jamie's no dummy.
But he's also being disrespectful by not listening, by not looking him in the eye, and he wants him to, right?
Uh-huh.
Fine, do what you want. So he's just setting the tone for the future relationship, right?
Absolutely. Well, he wants him to know that he's not, you know, his dog.
Yeah.
Right.
It was so funny. Did you see that rat? It was just walking on by, even though it got an attempted stomp. It's like, no, I'm just gonna gonna walk away. They're a little braver.
Yeah. Me and my buddies own this place, if you didn't know.
Yeah. And I hope it's a big cat, because those are big rats.
Yeah. And he's like, you don't put the cats in the cells, please. We need to have
supper.
Meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you want your cats killed too.
And if you notice, they had torches inside the cell chambers, so they could just cook them. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's want to keep the cat for a pet, and then where are we going to be? Thanks. No.
And Lord John is really good with keeping his composure. Like when Jamie was moving forward, he sat still in his chair. He didn't way back, and he's trying to keep a straight face as well. Mm-hmm. And so polite, eh? Like,
well, but he was thinking he was doing a favor, right, by getting cats to get rid of the rats. When in fact, it would be, a disservice to them.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Will Johnson again, our good old Dr. Joe Abernathy.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at that little dress Brianna's wearing.
It's so cute.
Isn't it?
It's like a short little poodle skirt dress. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm really surprised, for her graduation day that he didn't go with them. This part really surprises me, and I get that, they need to have that interaction and that connection for the storyline, but I'm surprised they did it this way on her graduation day. So,
you know what? I got it because it was a really great setup for, like, because they've been holding for so long. Like, since Brianna was a baby is when the whole not sleeping together. So they've gone, Brianna's maybe 9 or 11 here.
Yeah.
So they've gone for that long.
Yeah.
And I think he's about had it. And I don't think she was supposed to show up until after they left.
No, exactly. And that's where he got the times mixed up, right?
Right. I don't think he got the times mixed up. I think Sandy did.
No, but he just said that he thought that that the reservation was for 6, not 7.
Uh-huh.
So he must have told her to come at a certain time. Mm-hmm. And now she gets it.
Right.
Work, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his work is a good enough excuse to not want to hang out with her and her friends, right?
Well, if you're gonna...
because they're looking at Claire and thinking she's a great big deal and a wonderful person. Well, Frank doesn't have that same opinion of her. So
and why not get Sandy to go wait in a freaking car instead of standing there like a welcome reception?
Yeah, because everybody knows. Thanks.
Exactly.
And here's Cuckoo Magoo.
Yeah. Okay, he's walking pretty good. I don't know how all of a sudden he just passes away. I know he's a little bit, like you said, cuckoo, but he's walking good. He's got the energy. And then next thing you know, he's done. The gold is cursed. Yep. And then he goes into about the gold. Yeah. Wonder where he came from.
Probably his mom.
Yeah, smarty pants, jeepers.
It's a thing. It's a gift. What can I say?
I know. Well, here comes Jamie L. I'd like to have him in shackles too, but not in jail.
He can call it whatever he wants as long as he's in shackles.
Have you ever been in shackles, sister?
Cuffs, yes.
Yeah, but not arrested cuffs. Okay.
Okay.
And okay. So on to this conversation.
I have been. They have put cuffs on me and thrown me in the back of a paddy wagon once.
Yeah. How old were you?
18.
Yeah.
And
that explains it.
And then quickly taken out because Andrew banged on the side of the paddy wagon and yelled at them that I was pregnant. That's why I was throwing up outside of the bar. And then they kicked me out because he yelled at them if anything happened to me that bad things would happen to them. And
see, such a good guy even back then. He's got your butt covered.
Oh yeah. Yep. And then he got me out, and then Mike was waiting with the car
behind
the paddy wagon, and they pulled him up and they said, no more fucking around, you two, get the hell out of here. And we did.
Nice.
Man, I was terrified.
I guess.
I don't think I've ever told anybody that story.
I was in handcuffs for different reasons. So anyway,
I've had my share of those too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and now John is trying to barter with Mr. Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
I just love listening to him talk.
Right?
Yeah.
And Jamie's he just kind of gets up there.
He's got a wee bit of a dirty face, but I still like that jacket. It looks a little different now, though.
Yeah, it looks like it has a little poop on it.
It just looks tattered and torn, but you know what? Still wool and warm. So,
hey, that was a poem.
It was it? Aww.
A little bit tattered and torn, but still weathered and warm.
Oh, we should do a song. Not.
Nope. No, well, bless you.
I love this. He's drunk and she's smoking.
Yeah,
that surprises me because she's the doctor, right?
But back then, it wasn't. I know. Back then, doctors were speaking for cigarette companies, saying it was okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think Frank didn't do the right thing here. I think he should have went to her graduation and scheduled his work on another day.
Well, I think, like I said, I think he did it on purpose. This is a big day for you. I don't care about your big days.
Yeah, because she's going to find out now. He's done.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get where he is. And you know what? They're both to blame. You could sit back and say, she used him or he's being unfaithful and
they used each other.
Exactly.
He wanted a kid. Not only did he use her, he used Brianna.
Yeah. But you know what? they both went on with this charade. They can't play it all by themselves. So I think they're both equally guilty.
Yeah, but there's certain things. If you decide that you're going to live in a marriage for a child, then you both play the part.
But remember,
he chose not to play the part.
You got to remember, though, he went into being Bree's dad because he also loved Claire. He loved her so much and he wanted a child, and that's the reason why.
You know what? Yeah, he loved her, but once they got to the point where it was like, this is no more, and you can do what you want with what you want. Yeah. I think more than the fact that he loved Claire is that he wanted a kid.
Well, he already had the kid by that point. The child was already grown was already older by the time they decided, hey, okay, we're gonna, we can do what we want, right? So he already had the kid. He treated it as his own since she was pregnant. So
I'm talking about when the first of it happened, when he could have walked away.
Yeah, but he loved Claire. He didn't want to. He still loved Claire.
I still think he could have walked away, but if not for the child. I think that was the mark set that kept him there, was the kid.
Well, and talking about, divorce in those days, right? And it was true. Yeah. When someone got divorced, then the child went with the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe you either, Claire.
Oh, I don't think that she would. I don't think she would.
I don't think she would, but then also, she's not a great keeping promises just like he is. I think they just have zero faith in each other.
But the fact is that she's a doctor and she, she might be able to afford a nanny more than he could. But at the same time, Brianna spent much more time with Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
So, these are just made up scenarios in their own head.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's face it, they're adults.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Well, and then they'll just continue on in their
misery.
Their little play for X amount of years now.
Another 7 years.
I love how later on they show Brianna's perspective up in her room listening to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then he goes. Again, now this guy is like on his deathbed and he was just running the roads a little while ago. So
seriously, have you ever had the flu?
Yeah.
Where you've been fine 1 minute and then all of a sudden you licked a doorknob and then you're like, ah!
Yeah, exactly. It's called a man cold.
Right? Dude caught a man cold.
Yeah.
He is out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then here Jamie is just listening intently, and Lord John at the door, maybe just trying to pick up what he can as far as the English wise, but
yeah, he's got nothing.
No,
Gallic is such a
yeah.
He can't tell if he's talking or gagging.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not an insult. That's just, my ear picking stuff up.
Yeah, it goes through everybody's ear a little bit differently.
It sounds beautiful when it's spoken richly, but when you're sick.
Well, and Sam speaks it so well. Like they had someone teaching them Gaelic on the set, and he speaks it so well,
I think he only remembers certain phrases now because, the first of it, they were doing pretty good. But it's nice to know that in Scotland, it's picked up a resurgence.
Well, I think it should be taught in schools. Mm-hmm. It's part of their history, just like here in Canada,
Yep.
there should be an Indigenous class, where you start learning, there's so many different types of
Oh, absolutely.
Indigenous languages, but
Yep.
ones that make sense to the region,
Hmm.
absolutely. And 100% in the Indigenous schools,
Yep.
in the Indigenous community to build that back up again.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that.
They're starting to. They're starting
Yeah.
to. And it's really nice. A lot of them are doing it online now, especially because of the pandemic. And it's wonderful. Wonderful. I've seen it on the news a couple of times where different Indigenous teachers are starting to teach their students. So it's pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
awesome. And yeah, it's nice to know that Gallic is also making a resurgence. And nine.
Did they mention in the book how he died?
By closing his eyes and stopping breathing.
You're so funny. That was one extreme man cold, let me tell you.
It's the one that all men think they have.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
dying. That one.
Yeah. So he did. He literally died
He
from that.
literally died from the mad cold.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he had a parasite in the brain or something. Who knows?
No, that wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. And when John said, I can force you to talk, I bet you I know exactly what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He got a letter from a guy called Blackjack Randall.
Yeah, exactly. And Jamie is so much taller than him.
Yeah. Yeah, he just towers out. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Rumble.
I'm looking.
Yeah, dirty Jamie is kind of nice. I kind of like dirty
Right?
Jamie. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. She's got a cake. I just want cake. Take the balloons, take the presents, take everything
Sweet
else.
16.
Yeah, exactly. They sure made her look young there, eh?
Mm-hmm. And this was really hard for Sophie Skelton because she came in and she played this role in a particular way. And she talked about it because she had to go from 16 to 23.
Yeah.
In her mannerisms and in the way she spoke and in every way possible. She had to make this girl go from an insecure 16-year-old and an 18-year-old that just lost her dad and who was having troubles connecting to her mother, and then to this 22-year-old who had all these experiences, falling in love and going through trauma. And so she played this part with all of these things in mind. And she caught so much shit from the fandom about being flat or not being as invested or not being. But if she over dramatized all of those things, it would be too much. So if you watch the series over and over and over again, what you'll see is how she played those intricacies so slightly that you get to watch Brianna grow up. And that's what she intended.
And the bad thing about that is that the people that didn't like her from the beginning still didn't give her a chance and still don't like her, well into season 5.
Yeah. And it's because they put this preconceived notion into their head and didn't stop. So anybody's listening that is like, I hate Brianna, what you can do is maybe just open your mind a little teeny tiny bit and take into consideration what I just said and maybe watch her differently. Just try it. Just give it a go.
And even the fact, I totally get that not everyone likes the same actors, and I get that. I think, but we also have to remember, of course, it's not about us, but that, the team that hired the cast, they were looking for a certain something. They are the ones that say, yep, you know what? She's best. We're okay.
She's got it.
We have an opinion, but just give people a chance. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. And it's a matter of that each step Sophie had something in her mind that she wanted to portray. And I think she did it very well if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
Now, this is a great, great scene.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Jamie's, trying to convince him, you know what? No, let us catch our own meat because he has an ulterior motive, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what? Of course, John is going to say yes. It's not totally outrageous. And I think he's already starting to, you're kind of a handsome man. I like your eyes,
You're smart, you're intelligent. I don't get a lot of intelligent conversation around here with these dopes.
And I think he'll learn more, especially when they start playing, their chess and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's this respect, but and that John understands that these guys need to eat more than rats.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And I like this part. This particular part gives John insight to how worldly Jamie truly is. He's just not a Jacobite soldier,
Right.
It's just schooling him on the French food,
Right. Mm-hmm. That he's a educated man.
Yeah.
He's more his equal than not.
Yeah.
What?
What did you say?
French? Seriously. Wow.
Okay. Well, and that's good. At least he's honest about it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where their friendship begins.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
that's where, it goes to a mutual respect.
Yeah,
and
exactly. I love this so much. This is so hilarious. Yeah. But I totally get where they're coming from. It's not the...
Oh, Kiki.
I'm not talking to you because you ate and I didn't.
There's my buddy Kiki. And I call him my buddy because we met in Vancouver last year.
I want to savor every morsel.
His name is actually is Kiki Fleming, but he plays Leslie in the show. And we met last year in Vancouver at Outlandish Vancouver, and he subsequently did a interview with me, and we've subsequently developed a really fun banter together on social media and video chats and stuff. He calls me the Beeve, and
Run, Jamie.
He's started that all over the place. He tells me all the time, sends me little messages letting me know that he saw my beaver on his fridge. That's where he keeps it. So every time I see him, he just makes me smile. I love Kiki.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to get together with him when we finally go to Scotland.
Yes, exactly. Look at his face. He feels so betrayed.
Oh, so
betrayed because he agreed to it, right? Yeah. But the only reason Jamie did that was for this, right? Yep. And thank goodness, he still had the respect of his men in jail that could help him do this, right?
Yeah. Well, the men in jail, he was McDo, and McDo was their laird.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing else to say about it. He was their laird. He was the one that they looked up to. He was the one that, that got them the things that they needed.
Yeah.
If they needed more blankets, if they needed medicine, if they needed anything, it was him that was the one that talked to the, warden or whoever I can't know.
Governor.
Yeah. Governor.
And I love this. This is like deja vu, right? Mm-hmm. Taking a piss.
Somebody's taking a piss.
That's how it's done.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good thing that flap covered his willy.
Yeah. I love this. Mm. But you know what? Jamie's not there to hurt him.
Nope.
he now is done.
Yeah.
Just like he was expected in Culloden, he expected himself to die.
Yeah.
He's done. Claire's gone forever, and now he wants him to take his life.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? That's the thing. He's like, we're finished here.
Yeah. You know, and he's trying to give him the reason now, right? It's just not kill me. He's trying to make him rethink, and this is what you said you were going to do, and now you need to be the gentleman you are and kill me.
Yeah.
Because that's a promise you made to me. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But I feel for Jamie too, because we're only seeing his interaction with Lord John Grey right now.
Yeah.
But how his heart is just done and broken, and you know how he must have felt. Exactly. He gave a little bit of hope, and look what it did, and he just doesn't want that hope anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So he's reminding John of what he needs to do. Yeah. Yeah. Lord Melton saved him, but yeah.
Yep.
I love this.
What promise? Yeah.
Yeah. You promised to kill me.
Don't you remember?
Here, let me help you remember.
But that's the thing, buddy. I don't think you've got it in you.
Yeah, exactly. And Jamie's bringing it back. You promised. You vowed to me this is what you would do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. John's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You want me to kill you?
Yeah.
This doesn't make no sense.
No, but I bet you he's enjoying that long gaze and stare. And he's still propped up against the wall like something's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And I never thought for a minute that he was going to do it.
God, no.
No.
Me neither. Like,
not because we need Jamie for furthering the story, but he was a gentleman. Yeah.
He's also not a murderer, period.
Exactly. And Jamie's so disappointed.
Yep, he is.
You know?
You see it on his face. He's like, God damn it, I lived again.
Yeah. I know, right?
He's like, you know, like this man has 9 lives.
And I think this is where their relationship changes, right? You know, I think Jamie respects the fact, you know, that he didn't kill an unarmed man, and you know, and he feels
it showed honor, but at the same time, I think it earned a little bit of, you know, when Jamie respects you, he respects you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just a little bit; it goes a long way.
No, exactly.
He said that so fast.
I said she was gone, not dead. Yeah.
But it was so fast, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, you said she was dead. And like, he didn't even take a beat.
No, exactly. And I hate that they keep bringing up that friggin' witch thing. Oh my God.
But it's the only way. It's the only way in those days to explain her.
Healer.
Because the way that you don't disappear into the future, like that's right, like that's what we're talking about. That's what.
I know, but they don't know that.
That's why that's the only way he can explain it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not. That's not the part that he's talking about. Healer. It's the witch part. That's the, you know. Like fairy.
How and that's the thing, you know, he could have easily said, you know, she was a fairy. But it's different because he's having the conversation with the English. If he was having conversation with Scottish people, then they would understand more, right?
Yeah.
But again, that's their secret. Nobody else knows their secret. So,
and there's the stone that he gave to him. And there we've got older Brianna once again.
I like how Frank looks at Claire because he knows what's going to happen later on in that day, you know?
Yeah. And she's just in the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, that's your girl. Okay.
Yeah. 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 And there he goes. Sorry, Claire. I know what's coming.
I'm going to take her away.
Yeah. I'm going to try to anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
a pretty deep conversation in the books, that was.
And I bet you anything, had it continued on that way, that she would have went with him.
Yeah, it's
because she was closer to Frank than her mother.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there was no other way. And there's a lot of talk about you know, the car accident that Frank was in and stuff like that. How much more that he knew about what was going on. So it's really you know, I can't wait to know more, because it hasn't come out in the, you know, further books or anything like that. So
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of cool, because the whole, you know, Brianna being the last in the love it line, and so it's super cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I love how they have this conversation, and then Jamie finally tells him about, yeah, so that lady, yeah, she was my wife.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hilarious.
I think this is the first time, you know, besides being out on the moor, that, you know, they exchange more personal, intimate details of each other, and they start feeling this connection. And unfortunately, John
misinterpreted it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But as you know, of course, you wouldn't misinterpret it if you had a different mindset about that person, right? So,
and I don't think Jamie would have had such a visceral reaction,
right,
if it wasn't for what he went through with Blackjack Randall.
Well, because he talks about it later on in one of the other seasons, you know, that the Duke of Sandringham had the hots for him, and he knew that.
Yeah,
you know, so
he wasn't that big of a
and he never let it go any further. So
right.
But now that this has happened to Jamie, that shit can steer clear.
Yeah,
because that's just not his road. Maybe somebody else's road, but not his.
Yeah, well, that was a violent. It's more like a PTSD reaction than it is
exactly
is a, you know, hate for homosexuals.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm not sure that Lord John is homosexual as he is bisexual anyway.
Yeah. You know, but also you have to remember the predicament that Jamie's in. He's in jail. Where did he get raped? He got raped in jail, you know, and from who? An English officer of more of a power than he has. And it's kind of the same situation, even though they're cordial and friendly. Yeah. Could happen again if he really wanted it to, right? So I get why he's, you know, a lot more apprehensive. So
absolutely. Yeah. Just wants to be friends. Let's be friends.
I love those glasses. I've seen them in the stores, but not quite like that. And I've always like, oh, should I get some? Should I start drinking some whiskey? No.
Yeah.
Don't like alcohol.
Oh yeah, this is the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They picked a good little actor to represent him.
He's like, what an idiot I was.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. He says how scared he was back then, but he sure didn't show it, right?
No.
And that was an honor thing. He held your ground.
Yeah, and Jamie said, you know what? If you didn't shit your pants, then you know what? That would have been weird.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I can only imagine Lord John thinking all those years what he did, only to find out that, we kind of tricked you a little bit. I'd be a little bit, damn, that was a good joke.
Punked by the Scots.
I missed that show, Punked. It pissed off so many actors.
Sure did. Oh,
and this is a no-no. He was fine with his hand on his arm until he looked down and started rubbing his hand with his thumb. Yeah, you could tell, Yeah. Sorry, Lord John. And I'm sorry, but you did not remove your hand fast enough. Yeah. You took your old sweet time.
Yeah. He was kind of in shock, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he thought
it was going a different way.
I will kill you.
Yeah, that was the look in his eyes.
He was like, oh, okay. I guess that letter from Blackjack was all wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And exit stage left.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder what the tears are. Are the tears you just broke my heart, or are they tears of embarrassment? I think there are many layers of that onion. And then here comes the conversation, the last conversation, which is sad, really sad. He's still trying to be thoughtful. I think that's just to initiate that conversation.
For sure.
Yeah. And she knows. She knows he's got something to say.
And it ain't good.
Yeah. Again, he's trying to approach it in the soft side, right? Before laying out the bombshell, right? I like those chairs. It's amazing how much that room has changed over the years.
It's beautiful.
I think it's amazing. Yeah.
Pretty dark, but
yeah,
most of them are.
And in this conversation, you realize how much they still consider themselves a family, even though they're living separately.
Right.
And she doesn't seem too surprised, a little surprised, but you know what? Hey, we talked about it before.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he wants Brianna with him,
right?
That's where crosses a line.
Yeah. And why? Like, why? Why does he want her with him? Like,
because that's all he has left of this relationship is Brianna.
Yeah. That's all that she has left too. And that's all she has left of Jamie. So is this very selfish thing of him, or is it to hurt Claire? Like, what reason does he have?
I think
Brianna's an adult.
I think it's exactly. I think it's a bit of both. I think if it was her asking him for a divorce, again, she would want Brianna to stay with her, right? So I think in a way it's, you know what, I've done all this for you over these years. I'm taking your daughter.
Yeah. It's ugly.
Yeah, it is.
It's not necessary.
Divorce is, for him it is. He wants to get completely away. He wants to go back to England, back to his home. He just wanted to stay in the States, right? So.
Yeah. I don't.
But I think too, though, had he lived long enough and had Brianna had the time to think, she probably would have went with him. Because she, like she said, she doesn't have that relationship with her mom that she did with her dad.
Yeah, but she's also 18 years old, and she probably had a lot going on in her own life. She had her own friends. She had her own, so would she want to leave that?
You never know. You never know. If she wanted complete independence, because, again, Claire's a doctor, so she's busy.
Yeah.
They've been doing the co-parenting thing, but they don't need to anymore. She's graduated.
And he's leaving, taking Sandy with him and expecting Brianna to go and live this new happy family.
Yeah.
How would Brianna feel about that?
Yeah. But I think this was just the final knife. It's the final dig. After this, there's nothing else I can do to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep. So I'm not so sure Brianna would have been on that train. Oh, I love that line.
And this is where it all comes to be. You know, we've spent these 20 years together, but
there is could never amount of time that would have, that amount of time does not exist. And that was one of the most beautiful lines.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in the books. It wasn't like it. Oh,
I agree. I think that was, and that just erased the last 19 years. You know what I mean? It just erased all of that.
But it was truth.
Yeah, it was, though. It was.
He wanted her not to speak the truth to him. He asked for that right at the start.
Don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it. And she promised him she would.
Yeah.
And then he put her up against the wall and he demanded and he wanted to take her daughter away.
Yeah.
Well, you asked me, give him the truth. And it was the truth that he didn't want to hear. So that's the problem. When you ask people to tell you the truth, be prepared to hear it.
And that's the thing. You have to be prepared to hear it. It's not what might be in your head. It may be something different, right?
And that's the problem. You better fucking be prepared.
Well, and that's kind of like famous last words, you know, that was the last thing she said to him ever, you know, so.
Yeah.
I think he died in more than one way.
Leslie and Murtaugh.
The whole gang is heading in a different direction.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know that we would see Leslie and Hayes and Murtaugh. We didn't know Hayes and Leslie were characters coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Murtaugh. Yeah, but the little short guy there was Hayes.
Yeah. And I love how John Gray is just pulling him along. Don't give him a horse or nothing, but make him walk all the way.
Yep.
Because in the book, they hadn't talked for a long time, like months. They hadn't talked to each other.
And this is one person out of everybody in that prison. Everybody else was conscripted to go
live in the colonies
as indentured servants.
Yeah.
So, which means no indentured servants are not the same as slaves. So everybody get that out of your head. Now, an indentured servant, are they treated well? No. But they are given a place to live. They are usually paid some form of money, and they have a date where they are let go.
Yes.
To live their life. They can go back to where they came from. They can choose to live anew somewhere.
Well, their sentence is over.
Their sentence is over.
Yeah. And then Jamie's just wondering why him, right? You know, and John is, you know, I think he's doing the right thing by Jamie because, you know, he has helped him with the men, you know, all of that. And this is kind of like, I'm sorry, I wanted to touch your pee-pee.
I love you and I want to keep you close.
Exactly. And I'm just going to check up on you because I want to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to see you again. If I was to send you to the colonies, that likely wouldn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he wouldn't see him again if he sent him to the colonies. So,
well,
maybe later, but you know, you got to remember they kept in touch all of those years, right? They kept in touch. So, of course, you know, Lord John is going to make special trips.
See, Jamie still doesn't quite get it.
No, he doesn't.
This is where he will live.
Hellwater. What a name for an estate, eh? Hellwater.
Yeah. Why would you do this for me?
Yeah, because you didn't have your way. And you know what? That's a little embarrassing. I get that. That's why he's not looking at him in the face. You know?
That's wrong.
Embarrassment. Yeah. But at least he was open and honest about it and his reasons why. And, you know, but he was sorry for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, see, that shows how honorable Lord John is.
Yeah.
He admits his mistakes.
Yeah. And how can I make it better? Because I still want to continue seeing you and I didn't want you to go far, far away.
And I want to be your best friend.
Yeah. So we can play chess whenever I want you to.
Look at the grin on his face. He's like,
I know,
did
right?
something good. I did something good. And Jamie's like, what the fuck is up with this?
Yeah. What's going on here? I don't quite get it.
No.
Yeah. But
I'm closer to
it's
home.
better than being in jail. So
yeah. And it's better than being in the colonies.
This part just kills me. And you can tell she was a compassionate doctor, right? You know?
Yeah.
I love, just, her touching his arm and all of that. But she sees the look on Joe's face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something's up.
Something bad's coming around the corner now.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on, Joe?
And he didn't even tell her that he died. He didn't tell her that. She knew just by the look on his face.
Oh.
Oh, I just got chills.
Right.
Oh.
It's like, where is he?
The last thing she wanted was for Frank to die.
Right.
Because she did love him in one point of her life.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been the last 19 years, but he was, like she says, you know what? That was her first love.
Yeah.
Oh, this gives me the goosebumps when I watch it. I feel so bad. And the music is so perfect, right?
Yeah. Bear does it every time.
Yes. It's just perfect.
Every time.
And he's done a good job. You can't see his tummy going up and down.
Yeah.
It's like, hold your breath for just 30 seconds.
I think they even fixed some of that in post.
Probably.
Yeah.
It was only 30 seconds, so it's
well, but any kind of movements and stuff like that, they can slow right down.
And look at the subway tile.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so popular again now.
Yeah. Oh.
Aww.
Frank. She's like, this wasn't supposed to happen.
I want to see Frank again in season 6. I want to see flashbacks of Frank in season 6.
I think I would love to make sure that we see them throughout. Yep. I mean, because the thing is that Frank did know so much more.
Yeah.
Because he was a historian. So he didn't teach Brianna how to shoot.
No.
For no reason. So
exactly.
You know what? He knew she went. As far as I'm concerned, he knew that she went back. So he taught her those things so she would be able to survive.
Exactly. And I'm glad he did that searching, and I love the tear that rolled down his nose, Aww.
And see, the thing is that I wish she would have said, "I loved you," once. Yeah. I would have loved that. But that's okay too.
I did love you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she would have said once as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I'm glad that didn't happen, I'm glad they didn't go through the whole when they told Brianna.
Yeah.
I think that wasn't an important part. No. Her saying goodbye, I think, was the most important part.
Mm-hmm. Goodbyes are difficult.
SIssues and tissues.
I think this one, we'll talk a little bit about it a little bit at the end here. But Sherry, you want to take us through the story?
I do. This isn't real. Oh, this one's from Tanya at thoughtcatalog.com. And this is her story. She said, this really isn't a childhood story, and it happened just a few years ago when our father died. My mother is notoriously flaky and was an emotional wreck, which was understandable. But when someone dies, there are things that you have to do. So my older sister did all of them. I remember after the funeral, she came up to me and asked me how I was holding up, which just floored me because she was the one that was holding in all of her sadness and making sure the world could still go on so everyone else could grieve. She's just that kind of person, and I'm always amazed by her.
See, now for us, when our mother died, I think the three of us kind of took on her own part of what needed to get done, because Mom made sure that we each knew what it is that she wanted us to do when she passed away, right?
Yeah, we all had it was like there was a task that she assigned to each of us, but didn't tell the other what it was that she had told the others to do. And it was implanted in our brain, and it was like not one of us had a full brain.
No, it needed the three of us to kind of get close to the one brain.
Yeah, we had to be all together at one time. And my friend Thelma at the time, she almost was like the one that was herding all three of us together.
Yeah.
You know, she was pointing us in the directions that we had to go. And then once we were together, we were okay. It was like if we were ever not in the same room, we didn't know what to do with ourselves.
Well, and the things that Mom talked to us individually about was our older sister. She had asked her to take care of the funeral arrangements. So it wasn't funeral arrangements, but Mom just wanted to be cremated, and then that was the end of everything.
And she had all of that done, like all paperwork done, paid for.
Everything.
Like, everything.
Wanda, our sister, just had to take care of it. For me, it was financial stuff. So, but she took care of that all before she passed away. She put, joined everything in my name. So I was in charge of that. She was with me when she passed away. And then for you, she wanted that celebration of life. She wanted just everybody to get together and have a dinner together. And she even told you what she wanted.
Yep. The types of sandwiches, the types of, with the crusts cut off, like just, and, nothing big, just a few people. And it was, going to Mount Norquay, spreading her ashes. And, you're not supposed to do that, but we did it anyway. So it really was. It was like we were in a fog for a whole year. Like, let's just face it. If it wasn't for the partners in our life focusing our attentions where they needed to be, we wouldn't have made it through. But those first 2 weeks after she died, if we weren't in the same room, I'm pretty sure each of us would have forgotten how to breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like our mom was in palliative care or in the hospital. She was living with me at the time. Her and our father were separated. She was wanting a divorce and all of that. And, no, it wasn't a complete surprise, but yeah, it was a daughter shock.
Yeah.
It was a daughter shock. So,
yeah.
All right, guys. So we want to hear all about your tissue stories, things, that you remember that either bring happy tears or sad tears. So reach out to us at sissues.ca or visit us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram.
That was supposed to be camera.
Oh,
it's Instagram. Yeah.
Sounded like a bird that got caught in a wire.
Meow.